every time I hear a reporter ask Trump a question about anything directly Epstein related or Epstein adjacent, I think to myself, there's no way he can botch this more than he's botched previous questions. There's no way he can F this up as badly as running around calling it the Epstein hoax. Or, of course, famously, before getting to this most recent example, getting asked about Ghislaine Maxwell way back in his first administration and saying this.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Okay, one little...
Ghislaine Maxwell is...
Ghislaine. I just never understand when people pronounce it that way. Ghislaine, I think is Ghislaine, is the way that I've heard it pronounced. But Ghislaine works. Ghislaine. Ghislaine is maybe on the no side, in my opinion, but whatever, to each their own. And his answer was shocking back then. You're wishing this human traffic or a sex trafficker well like that? And then he goes, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. You were their bestie. You knew exactly where they lived. Shut up. Well, now he gets asked about Prince Andrew because of the memoir that got released of Virginia Giuffre and her detailing of the abuses of Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew got unprinced, removed of his title, it should have happened a long time ago. Trump gets asked about that, and listen to what he's concerned about. In the first clip you heard from way back when, was he concerned about justice? No. He was concerned about Ghislaine Maxwell doing well. And now, what is he concerned with here when it comes to Prince Andrew? Formerly Prince Andrew now.
Prince Andrew in the UK has had his royal title stripped away because of the EPSTEIN scandal. I know you're close to the royal family there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I feel very badly. It's a terrible thing that's happened to the family. That's been a tragic situation. And it's too bad. I feel badly for the family.
Are you still planning to meet with Jensen?
And all it's about is the family. Prince Andrew's family. What about the victims? What about the families of the victims? And we'll hear from Virginia Giuffre's family in just a bit. But first, here's some reporting from Caitlin Collins.
Today, an ordinary American girl from an ordinary American family brought down a British prince with her truth and extraordinary courage. Those are the words of the family of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent accuser, Virginia Roberts Giuffre. That was in reaction to the shocking news today that Prince Andrew is being stripped of his royal title. Now, instead of Prince Andrew, he will simply be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. In addition to losing his other most prominent title, the Duke of York, earlier this month, Andrew is also being evicted from the sprawling mansion where he has long lived on the royal dime. All of it encapsulating a major fall from grace because of his ties to Epstein. Tragically, Virginia Giuffre didn't live to see this day. She died by suicide earlier this year. But her pursuit of justice has lived on, and her family will join me on what this moment means for them soon. In her just-released memoir, Virginia Giuffre details the claims that she made that Andrew sexually assaulted her when she was a teenager. He long denied those claims and offered this defense in 2019 in a disastrous interview with the BBC. And what you're about to hear from him is in response to a question about Giuffre's claims that they danced at a nightclub and that he was, quote, sweating all over me.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was actually Yes, I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at, and I simply it was almost impossible for me to sweat.
You can see why it was disastrous. Years after that interview, the public frustration, though, over Jeffrey Epstein and a lack of accountability has not gone away. It was actually on full display just a few weeks ago when I was in the United Kingdom for President Trump's state visit. This is what protesters were projecting onto the side of Windsor Castle, images of Trump and Epstein together. The king himself just heckled over this last week.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? Have you asked the...
So just from the standpoint of this clip, I don't know why this lady is so angry at someone asking that question. This is real. I haven't been this angry about almost anything in my life. And I definitely wouldn't be this angry about someone asking Prince Andrew questions about the documented allegations of abuse against a child. Look, watch this. Ready?
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? Have you asked the...
Go away! Go away, would you? Well, justice, I don't think you could call this it fully being served, but a step towards it has. And you'll hear in a second Virginia Giuffre's family saying there needs to be more. And calling out Trump and saying he needs to get his act together. I think the guy says put his big boy pants on and actually pursue full transparency and justice. No matter how many people will scream, go away, through that process. That's Trump. That's put this back up. This little moment represents a random a random person manifestation of Trump's attitude.
Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? Have you asked the police to...
Shut up! That's Trump right there. Not literally, but figuratively.
Cover up for Andrew.
While Andrew, as he's now known, faces his comeuppance, not a single powerful man in Epstein's once wide circle of friends has faced justice here in the United States. In the House of Representatives, a bipartisan move to force a vote on the...
And then on to the stuff we talked about. You know, what's upsetting is Trump succeeds at, as I've described it before, the fire hose of drama, of information, of scandals, of stories. And with something like this, I do think he's believing, for whatever reason, he can wait it out and that it'll go away. And that's why, while it's something that I struggle with, is my whole job here is to give a take. I can't just play a combination of clips and be like, there it is. But to really bring, and it feels strange sometimes to experience myself saying the same thing over and over, day after day. But I'm trying to make sure I hold myself to bringing it up again and again and again, as everyone should be doing, so the pressure isn't let off, even if it means I need to make the same points that I've been making, which as a commentator can feel weird, like I already said that. But Trump's hoping it just kind of goes away. And if you're MAGA, we can unite on this. You're believing, well, the Democrats are using this dishonestly and Trump didn't do anything wrong. Okay, great. Then boom. All you got to do is, as you have said you wanted, is transparency and justice. And we haven't even gotten the transparency part yet. Here is Virginia Giuffre, some family members. And
just to think about her having that moment is, I'm sure, really incredibly difficult for the two of you. And, you know, Sky, looking at this, do you think her book and the release of it and the stories she told in that book of her experiences, do you think that is what led to this moment tonight?
think it had a large influence. I think it was hard to deny, because when you read that book, it takes the salacious details out and just goes right into the raw stuff where it hits you right in the heart, and you just cannot ignore the fact that these men did just absolutely atrocious things to her. Not just Prince Andrew, mind you, it wasn't just one time. She mentioned more than one time. She mentioned 3 times in which her and Prince Andrew had interactions, we'll call it that. And so I think this is a huge moment for her to tell the world that I was telling the truth the whole time. I wanted you to know, because the truth is, this is a predator's playbook. These people are monsters, and we need to bring them to justice, and that's what we're doing here now. I think this is a start to it, but it's not the end of it. We have more to do. The king needs to do a bit more. He has done enough. He's definitely set kind of a precedent to the rest of the world. President Trump needs to put his big boy pants on and follow suit. However, I think that the second part to it is that we need some type of investigation. Why is he still walking around? Why would the prince even be funding any sort of, I don't know, property for him?
And do remember that this headline was not too long ago. Over the summer, Prince Andrew free to travel abroad as FBI ends probe into royals Jeffrey Epstein links. So as all of the hurricane of news around Epstein and Trump's response to it and everything that we've learned the last few months, kind of quietly, the investigation was closed on the U.S. end into Andrew. And so this hopefully is a step in the right direction. By the way, we didn't even get to reflect on what the heck was that clip of, well, I have a sweat problem, so couldn't have been true. I don't sweat. Well, sometimes I do, but not, yikes. And we're now breaking more records. Adelita Grijalva now broke the record for the longest, duration of time that it's taken a newly elected House member to be seated, because Mike Johnson is refusing to swear her in. Now, I referenced MAGA and uniting with them, not united with them, but like me appealing to them, saying, hey, you don't have to fight us on this. Don't you want transparency too? Weren't you saying that for a long time? Let's unite around at least that issue. This came up in my Jubilee appearance, and it was perplexing.
Hey, nothing's bad about that.
No, I've been trying to get them released for 7 years.
Well, credit to you. So then,
yes.
Do you agree that, to me, it's not American patriotism for him to push back against that for so long?
Well, I think the thing is he knew that the Democrats were going to try to turn this and make it about him.
Wait, release it, then they can't, right?
You said you'd let me talk, so let's do this. The defense attorney of Virginia Giuffre, who basically said that Donald Trump was the only one that helped with the case.
Okay.
Suddenly, you guys want to use it as a talking point.
You don't know anything out. You made your point. Now let me make mine.
Okay.
Let's assume everything you're saying is absolutely correct.
It is.
Great. Why won't he release them? Then it silences Democrats.
An Obama judge has blocked a lot of the files.
No. See,
that is
do you
totally
know about
true.
the case?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
the grand jury documents. Nothing is new in the grand jury documents.
Can you agree that there is definitely people that were very powerful in institutions that did not want to be exposed, that did very evil thing with children? Now, the thing is a lot of this evidence, and I hate to say it, is destroyed. I hate to say it. There were cameras and film and videos in every single one of these rooms.
We're on the same page.
Can we agree?
It's a little weird.
No, it's not.
A little sussy.
No, it's not.
He's calling up. He's calling up. The White House is calling up Republicans and saying this is a hostile act if you sign on to the discharge petition.
No, it's not. He said release everything.
Out loud, but then he's calling people saying it's Marjorie Greene. Do you think Marjorie Greene is lying about Trump?
I haven't seen him say that. Okay. I've not seen discharge papers, so I can't speak to that.
Well, that's what's being debated right now.
But what I can say that I will agree with you on, I don't like that he's calling it a hoax. Cool. I will agree with you on that.
What a weird ride, right? That sort of clip. It's just one of their most... Before, I think a lot of liberals really understood the scope. It was a lot of Trump's reaction to the campaign promise of releasing them that made a lot of liberals go, wait, what the heck is happening? maybe there's more than we thought was here. And then as it's progressed, it's more and more suspicious. And it's true that a lot of Trump supporters really were. Now, some of them, they had bigger conspiracies they attached onto it that were more about their hatred of Democrats. But regardless, they were saying we want Epstein. We want to figure out the Epstein list, right? For a while. And so for that to be such an important thing to them, but then for Trump to be the one calling it a hoax, it's a clash of two really pivotal ideologies of theirs. And so you watch that play out in that conversation where she's like, I want them. And I go, cool, so we want them? And she goes, well, no, but you want to hurt Trump. And I go, I just want whatever's in there. Well, they're probably destroyed. Okay, well, then release what is there and we'll see if we can find discrepancies that would indicate that we're destroyed. Well, he said he wants them released. Yeah, but then he's forcing them not to. Well, I don't like that he called it a hoax. Okay. Well, good. We got there then. And we agree on that then. Whew.